Ladies and gents, I'm being blessed today because
Bless you.
I'm here with Karl Urban, who is Lord of the Rings, Bourne Supremacy, and of course Star Trek.
Dredd.
And Judge Dredd. Yeah, that's right, you were Dredd. The good one. There wasn't another incarnation.
Your words.
It had Rob Schneider in it, enough said. Did you know that when I met Rob Schneider, right, he had his own, like, spiritual advisor with him, right? And I'd say, "G'day, Rob, how are you?" And he'd wait and turn to his spiritual advisor, and he'd nod, and he said, "Yeah, I'm well." That is so
That's
true.
classic.
I did a talk show, and he was a guest, and that happened. And God. Yeah. So, Karl,
Mate,
Star Trek Beyond. You've blown up another fucking Enterprise.
how do you know? You haven't even seen the movie
I
yet.
saw the trailer.
But can you believe what you've seen in the trailer? Is that the Enterprise?
Well, good point. Good point. What's it like? Is it Justin Lin that directed this?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Shifting away from Justin to Abrams, like, what are the different styles that they had with as far as directing you guys?
That's a really good question, actually. Both completely different in many ways. I guess one of the strengths that Justin brought to this movie is the fact that he's a real long-term fan of Star Trek, and he really kind of got it, and he got the characters. Not to say that JJ didn't, because he totally did, but Justin grew up with it, and so he had this sort of long-standing deep affection for it, and he knew the characters, he knew the archetypes, and I think long-term fans are going to be very happy with this movie, and I think that people who have come to the franchise recently with our films are going to really like it.
Now, your TV series, what's it, The Tomorrow People?
Almost Human.
Almost Human. Fuck, I love that show. I really like that show, and you fuckers who canned it, not happy. Not happy at all.
Not happy.
Like, I'm sorry, but that was a really good show. And I had a lot of respect for you in that, because you were like a lone gunman with an android.
With an android.
With an android. Android didn't have boots on you, because I thought you were really cool. Now, I'm going to ask some of the more thespian questions that I asked your countrywoman, Lucy Lawless. Growing up as a young boy in New Zealand.
Yep.
Did I say that New Zealand correctly?
New Zealand?
New Zealand.
New Zealand?
Growing up as a young man, you probably didn't think that you'd be Bones or that you'd be trying to knock out Matt Damon or whatever. But as a young actor, what were your kind of goals for what you wanted to do? Like with Lucy, she said she wanted to do the whole Shakespeare route. What was your kind of bent?
Well, that's a great question. When I was a kid, I remember from a very young age watching like Paul Newman and Cool Hand Luke, and watching the Star Wars movies and Indiana Jones, and a lot of those kind of Spielberg, Lucas movies, and that was what really kind of got me sort of thinking about that was something that I would like to do, and it was, for me, it was just really a goal of getting work and being able to work consistently and for a long period of time. It's as simple as that.
And would you say that Two Towers was your big break?
No, it was actually a little New Zealand film called The Price of Milk, which was directed by Harry Sinclair, and it was that film that Peter Jackson saw, and then consequently cast me in Lord of the Rings, Two Towers.
Now I'm going to ask you. Well, I'm just going to ask you.
All right.
Now, mate, Paul Greengrass is back with the Bourne film.
Yes.
Do you think this is a good thing? Because we saw the Jeremy Renner version. I
gotta say, I haven't seen that film.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. And we all know that Paul's a great director. How did you find your time on the Bourne train?
You know what? I love working with Paul Greengrass. He's one of the smarter directors that I've worked with.
Really?
Very specific, yeah, very specific. And he gave me great little pointers as to the character and the way he saw it. There was a scene we shot where Karl, the character I played, shoots Matt Damon's girlfriend.
Oh no, Maria. Yeah.
And they go off the bridge and into the river, and Karl comes up to the edge of the bridge and looks down to see if there are any survivors. Well, on the first take I walked up to the bridge and I put my hand on the rail. And at the end of the take, he comes up to me and he says, that was great. Next time you do it, don't touch the rail. I went, oh yeah, sure mate, no worries. And then I thought about it and I was like, oh Paul, why? Why don't you want me to touch the rail? And he thought about it for a second and he said, well, if you touch the rail, it somehow connects you to the environment, but you're not a part of it. You're like a shark swimming through it. And
I love that.
And that was a great direction, and that really kind of set the tone for the whole character.
So, with your character, he seemed very methodical, and
You're talking about the Bourne Supremacy.
yeah, the Bourne Supremacy, your character there, he seemed very mechanical, almost not happy to be anywhere else but either surrounded by cookers or with a gun. It seemed very militant. Would that be a good observation?
Yeah, the thing about that character is that he wasn't comfortable in society or as part of society, and he operated in a very dark fringe world, a subculture, if you will, and was basically incapable of actually properly integrating himself into normal society. So yeah, he was, and it was all about, for me, that character was about economy of movement, economy of, that stillness. And because I had, Matt and I talked about this, the character on the page was pretty skeletal, so it was a kind of a challenge to see how much one could do with a sort of a limited amount of time.
Cool. Talking about economy of movement, your role as Dredd, in Judge Dredd, it was very similar as far as the movement, very action-packed, but your movement was your character didn't move unless there was absolute meaning towards it. Didn't talk unless there was absolute meaning towards it. And I found that, as someone who was taking over a character, because you had Stallone beforehand, I found that really original. Were you worried about the burden of what Stallone brought to the original version?
No, not at all actually, because the first version of the film, the Danny Cannon movie, was made in a completely different era as far as comic book adaptations go. I mean, Joel Schumacher was still making fluorescent Batman movies. And our film was tonally, it couldn't be more different. It was, gritty, it was realistic, it was, hard R, violent, and Alex Garland wrote an incredible screenplay, and, we really tried to deal with the reality of a law enforcement operation that was completely strapped for resources and completely incapable of actually dealing with the insurmountable task of law and order, and in that time, and so it was a huge challenge, and I feel very grateful to have been a part of it.
You can ask you controversial questions now.
Sure.
the reshoot for Star Trek.
The what?
Reshoot for Star Trek. I heard there were reshoots.
Yes, pickups. Yes, we did some pickups.
Why is this?
Well, that's
I heard that the studio wasn't happy
no, not at all.
and asked you to go back out there and...
No, not at all. Pickups are just a common part of modern filmmaking. If you had known how many pickups we did for the Bourne Supremacy, for example, you would have been shocked. No. In fact, this was actually about we knew at the end of filming Star Trek Beyond that there was additional stuff that we wanted to get, and so it was really a process for the creative team to put the film together and then go back once and get what we needed to get.
How do you find engaging with different fans around the world?
I enjoy it. It's an opportunity. It's a good opportunity to connect with people, and it's you do something like theatre, and you get a kind of instant sort of feedback and response of engage of what an audience appreciates and what they don't appreciate, and it's not until you actually get the opportunity to come to an event like this that you have sort of some sense of whether or not you've succeeded in what you set out to achieve.
Now, obviously, you'll be doing the round the world premieres of Star Trek coming up. But what's after that? What jobs have you booked?
I've got a bunch of stuff that is sort of percolating, as we say, but nothing that I can actually talk about at this point in time because I just don't have any contracts signed.
Right. And is it more of a action genre, romance, drama? Can you be genre specific?
I know I can't. It's frustrating.
It is.
It's somewhat vexing.
But one of the things I have always, and I will leave this with a compliment, because I've always found your work engaging, because to me your work hasn't always been about dialogue. It's always been about character and what you embrace your physicalities as a character, which I brought up in Dredd and Supremacy. I just think that you're one of these few actors that doesn't embrace just the words on the page, but you really embrace the essence of who a character should be, and I really applaud you for that, because I think it's something that not enough actors do. There's I would say like my mate Tom Hardy does it, you do it.
Tom's a great actor.
Yeah.
Huge amount of respect for him.
I can't even say, Chris Pine has done it, because I think that he's taken an original take on Shatner, whereas you just embraced the Bones character, and it's so uncanny, and it's so it's not just the voice, but it's the physicality, and you embrace physicality. I love how you work as a physical actor.
Well, thank you very much. I
Well
appreciate
done.
That. How was it for you working on Max? I mean, that was an extraordinary film. I mean, for a film like that to, do what it did at the box office, but to also achieve so many mainstream accolades, it's quite extraordinary.
I was the last person that was cast. I mean, I'd auditioned a couple of years before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we got the green light to do the reshoot that he rang me up and said, it's go time. But he gave me a lot of freedom, and he said, look, with you, the character's not just on the page. He said, you've got to create a backstory for him and a grounding for him. And before we get to set, you're going to report that back to me.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me who he is as a character.
Wow, cool, what an interesting process.
And so I really kind of went through what I knew of the script, and I knew that he'd grown up with Furiosa, and I knew that she was betraying them. But I came up with this whole story where they were friends through childhood, and there was some sort of love there. And for her leaving him was a bit of a betrayal.
Yeah.
You know, because she's left her friend.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like more of a loss and a vengeful, you know, get her back, she's my friend.
Yeah.
And he really dug that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congrats on that, because it's huge kudos.
Well, you know, you guys are going to make more money at the box.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what.
We only made 350, man.
Only. I can't wait to see what. Do we have to, I cannot wait to see what George and company does with the next instalment of that, because it was honestly when we were shooting.
FYI, I'm in it.
Oh yeah, all right.
This has been Karl Urban. I'm Quentin Qkenihan. Anything else you want?
Peace.
Go see him in Star Trek Beyond. Date? Date?
July 22nd.
July 22nd. Thank you, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Can I get a
High tech
Yep.
here.
Press stop.